Hi, people on the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, no matter what time of the day you're watching this video. This is my day 5 of challenging myself, record and post as it is to remind myself to enjoy the process of making and creating and not to get too hung up on the destination or the goal. I'm gonna say I'm bit struggling today because I'm in public and there's people walking by and watching me. But anyway, I'm going to push through. What I want to talk about today is why we have 1.4 billion Chinese people, but we hear so little, so few authentic Chinese voices on the international platform. I was born and raised in Beijing and lived in London for 10 years and now moved back. And I have some strong opinions about this, I'm not going to lie. The first of all is, I feel like I can only speak about London or the UK, is the fact that we do talk about China. And we talk about China, but not with actual, just normal, common Chinese people. We talk with politicians or ABC or BBC or academias, and somehow I get it, they do represent China, but they don't represent the down-to-earth actual Chinese people who live in China. And I love the fact that ABC, BBC or CBC or whoever, what kind of city you are, you're moving back to China or finding your roots, and this is great. But I do think if you're Chinese, obviously speak for your immigrant Chinese culture, because you never actually lived in China. You don't actually know how China works. So I have a huge problem because I listen to lots of political podcasts, and they always invite people who never lived in China to talk about China. But they are Chinese, they look Chinese, but they're not Chinese. That's the first problem, is we do talk about China, but not with Chinese people. Second problem I see is, again, I blame social media or algorithm. Algorithm always favor extreme views. That means the more extreme, the more left or the more right or the more eye-grabbing content you'll create, you're going to get the clicks, get the reach. But everyday life is not about that. Everyday life is about you get up, you go to your local shop, or cafe or breakfast joint. They've been making food for 50 years, and people around me doing their common normal things. That's what life is about. It's not about clickbait. The third thing I would say, not a problem, it's more of a myth or challenge. I don't know, I think it's more like a myth. I think if you can understand me in this video, or if you're even watching this video, that means your English is great. You can speak, you can listen. Why don't you just pick up a camera and start recording, or start writing? Because people understand we speak English as our second language. They get that. Living in the UK, work in the UK for 10 years really made me understand that it's not about the language we're speaking or we're using. It's about what's up here in your mind. What do you want to say? What's your logic? What's your thoughts? What do you want to convey? What's your message? As long as you have something to say, who cares how good your English is? Just say it, And that's why I am here, to encourage everyone, including myself. That's why I'm doing this. If you live in China, if you born in China, if you're Chinese, pick up your camera and, find a way to get authentic Chinese voices out there. Stop letting one-time, visitor vloggers come to China that they're not Chinese in any single way and make money on us. Stop letting that happen. Own your country, represent your own voices, create your own community, because you're special, we are special, and the world deserves to know that. Anyway, that's my day 5 cynical diary. Hope you enjoyed it, and have the best day, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow.